July 1st already. Larry Satchwell here with a quick walk through the garden. Starting in the opposite corner today than I usually start. Beautiful overcast morning in the 70s. High today 86 with a 60% chance of rain, and we need it. This hibiscus has been blooming on and off. It's a perennial, done really well, and I am sure this is a Jerusalem artichoke back here. Hasn't bloomed yet. I planted a variety of sunflowers back here, not knowing what they were going to look like. We've got this little guy right down here. That's just tiny, less than a foot tall. Beautiful little flower. I would have put him up closer. Here's one of the toads. There you go. They are all over the place. This pot's much bigger than it looks. It has my hardy water lily in it. It's had a few blooms, so water hyacinth that I put over here because the fish tend to eat it. There's only one fish in here. Mexican Petunia is doing well, although I see a morning glory in there. This box is looking pretty attractive. There's a Mexican Petunia back here that's kind of getting shaded out by this sunflower. This is the chocolate variety, new variety this year. Beautiful. Looks like it's going to have several buds on it. It's had a few bug problems, but I don't spray for bugs very often, if ever. Volunteer zinnias coming up here. Another sunflower going to open soon. This looks like the same variety over there. We've been away the first part of the month visiting family, Florida. The girls are here from Texas for a week. They'll be going back July 4th if they can get a flight. Here's a lotus flower coming on and another lotus flower coming on. We had a couple of blooms so far. They only last a couple of days. They close up at night. While we're here, this is that Glengold Raspberry that we like. I buried it. I don't know if there's any roots on there yet, but it's starting to spread out. This is a pomegranate tree or bush. Never done anything. I told my wife I want to take it out, and she's a tree hugger, says, why? It's pretty. But I'd rather have raspberries. And I'm surprised she doesn't want them too, because she loves raspberries more than I do. These spent vines need to come out. I don't like to do it because you get stuck with all these stickers all the time, but it's got to be done. I see a sweet gum tree back there that needs to come out. The hummingbirds continue to visit the canna lily here. Have more of it over here with another Jerusalem artichoke coming up. Last year, a volunteer gourd was in the middle of here, and it was so invasive that it killed a lot of the canna lily, but I think that's another Jerusalem artichoke in the middle of it. Those will fill back in over the years. It's time to harvest the potatoes. In the north, the vines will die down completely, but here in Georgia, if I leave these like this, the potatoes, the new potatoes, will start growing again. So it's time to get these out. I haven't looked at them. I don't know what's down here. It's time to get these out. I'll probably dig them sometime this week. I'd like to have the girls help me. I really don't know what's in here. Oh, that's what's in there. Woo! And that's just what's on top. So it looks like we'll have a good harvest. I'll make a video on that. I finally got into these strawberries and cleaned them up a lot and put some pine straw around them. They're not producing anything. I did manage to pull up a couple while I was doing it, and it doesn't look like they're doing well. We're just not getting the rain we need. This started out as one strawberry plant last year, and it has done all this on its own. It doesn't have a lot of black spots on it, but I do need to treat it for this fungus. Here's the Shasta Daisies. I did not deadhead them, and as you can see, they needed to be, so I'll cut those back. Balloon flowers are doing great. So while we're at the perennial garden, let's just take a walk down here. The Nicotina here is doing great, and there are some new plants. I'll have to get up in there to show you. But there are some new plants coming up, and those were self-seeded. I'm leaving the ones I planted in the basement for a while to let them get a little bit bigger because we're in the heat of summer. I'm hoping this Coreopsis will bloom again in the fall. I tried to wrangle in some of this yarrow by stringing it up, and it looks terrible. I need to find a better solution for that. I've been letting the foxglove go to seed, and I'm going to save that seed. They're biennial, so this plant was going to die this winter, but I'm hoping that new plants will come up. I haven't seen any yet, but I'm going to save some of the seed and plant those just like I did the Nicotina. Here are the orange daylilies that I really don't care for, but man, they're hard to dig up. And this was that beautiful patch of Shasta Daisies that just got away from me while I was traveling. The petunias are looking great. I do need to get up here and deadhead this echinacea or cornflower. They're really blooming well. Got some weeds in here I need to deal with. The black-eyed Susans have not started blooming yet. There's a tomato plant in the middle of all this. Let's go into this perennial hill here and see what's going on. Here's the Joe Pye weed. It's blooming over here, getting covered up by some of those black-eyed Susans. Here's the other one. I guess I had 3. They're doing great. What I think I'll do is cut back some of these black-eyed Susans and let the Joe Pye weed do a little bit better. This is the catnip. I need to cut it back. I think it'll bloom in the fall. This is Helen's flower. It hasn't bloomed yet, but it looks like it's getting ready to. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully it'll be blooming by the next video. I think the Latin name is Helolinium, and this variety is Siesta. It's supposed to be deer resistant too. The verdict is still out on this lobelia. I think the common name for it is red cardinal. It's really tall. I didn't know I was going to get this tall. I have not seen a hummingbird here, but that doesn't mean they're not. This is a native plant. I need to put them closer together, or maybe crop them so that they have more flowers on them. I'm not sure yet. Got some lantanas doing well here. This is the Miss Huff that's coming back. This annual, I'm not sure what it's called anymore, but it came up voluntarily. Speedweed is about flowered itself out. Now we're at the top side here. Oh, here's a new plant coming up. There's a new plant coming up. So these have reseeded. The seed heads have opened up here. So I'm going to cut those back soon. Here's some more coming up. I think if I cut them back, they'll do really well. Here's one of the new Nicotina plants coming up. This Angelina is doing well up here. This is what the Yarrow looks like after it gets so tall. I'll soon, very soon, probably in the next week or so, chop all this back and let it rebloom in the fall. The gazebo's starting to get filled up with these vines. There's some cypress vines. I couldn't find any new plants this year, but I've got several volunteers coming up around. In the pond here, I've been keeping this barrel and this barrel full because of the evaporation. The fish think it's time to eat, and I usually feed them at this time. We'll finish this video first. Look at the size of this green bean. That's got to be 30 inches. This is a variety that I'll have to look up. I don't know what it is, but it's a volunteer. And I saw a black-eyed Susan vine flower in here yesterday, but I don't see it today. All right, we're back to the vegetable garden. Got Sunglow in here. Those tomatoes, I'm not sure I like them. They're very tart at first, but then after you eat a few, they seem to do well. Green peppers, I've got one here and two over there. They were really small plants when I put them down, and they love the heat. I should have put them in a wall of water. This is the Charger. I like this tomato. It's done real well. The okra here, I've had to cut off several of the bigger ones. They are like wood if you don't get them when they're small. Like this is a perfect size right here. But I only get one or two at a time, but I'm the only one that eats them, so that's okay. This cucumber called Straight 8, we've gotten a lot of cucumbers off of it. Another Charger. Don't see any ripe ones on there. And this is the lettuce that I transplanted the other day. The best thing I can say about this is that it's not dead. Hopefully we'll get some rain today, but this is surviving, not thriving yet, but it's only been out here a day or so. We've been eating the sweet corn. This is ready to go. I was going to take a picture of it the other day on the table, but the girls are here, and it was gobbled up before I could even get a picture of it. The zucchini and the yellow squash that was in here, here's a story about that. One might think these are ladybug pupa or grubs, I call them, but it's not. It's a bean beetle, and it is out of control and has devastated my zucchini. I'm not going to get any zucchini off of this. This is what the leaves look like. Very, very difficult to control. Neem control it. It's an oil. It makes them suffocate. And the problem is, I've also got some squash beetles down here that I really shouldn't plant squash in this bed for the next 3 years. So I'm gonna pull these out. The best control are chickens. I'm gonna pull these plants and take them down to the chicken coop. And this yellow squash is probably gonna meet the same fate here in the next week or so. Another Charger. Great looking tomatoes on there. The zinnias and flowers in here are looking okay. This one's not doing well. I don't remember the name of it. What is this? Not doing great. This false indigo is doing really well here. It's kind of picky. It needs good drainage, and a couple of the other false indigos I planted evidently didn't do so well, and they have passed away. I moved my bird bath down here so I could strap the sprinkler up here. The corn and the tomatoes have gotten so tall that the sprinkler wasn't reaching, and I had Abby watering the garden while we were gone because we're in a moderate drought. This is the bee balm, and it has a cypress vine growing on it, which is fine by me. The bronze fennel, looking great, tracking some butterflies. Here's a Charger with some tomatoes on it. That looks like lunch to me. Really pleased. I'll probably plant those next year. These carrots are getting a little bit old now, but the horses love them. There's 2 tomatoes in this cage. Early Doll, which I didn't think was doing very well, still hasn't produced a tomato. And I put this Parks Whopper in here because the Early Doll wasn't doing well. And again, I have a Morning Glory going up through there. You got to find the base of it. And I don't see it. And then the rest of that vine will die. Little volunteer tomato out here. I don't know what it's going to be. And this is a Celeste. So there's one. There's one that's ripe. Ah, didn't know that was here. Another cypress vine. And another cypress vine in there. This looks like right there. Right there's the Morning Glory. It's going all the way up through there. This was the bed of onions. The girls helped me harvest it the other day. They really were cute. I'll put another video on just harvesting the onions. They're up on the picnic table right now, kind kind of hardening off, if you would, or curing, and then we'll store those. So we're back by the potato patch, and the strawberries kind of made a different loop this week. I hope your garden's doing well, and I hope you have a safe 4th of July. Be careful, folks. Thanks for watching.